So today I chose to speak about the power of imagination. The power of imagination. I've been contemplating imagination all week and the importance of imagination. Some very important people have said some very important things about imagination. Einstein said that imagination is more important than knowledge. More important than knowledge. He said it's the preview of life's coming attractions. He said that it stimulates progress and it gives birth to evolution. Imagination gives birth to evolution. Well, I've been contemplating that. I've been remembering when I was 5 years old and I was part of Miss Julie's Sing and Dance Nursery School. I told you that story. And the very first time, so you had to audition to even go to this Sing and Dance Nursery School in Baltimore, right? And I auditioned, I got in, and the very first time I was up on stage, I got to do the lead part, and I was singing a song and doing this little dance, and I decided I am going to be a singer. When I grow up, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. And around the same time, my great-grandmother had a piano in her basement, and I was always down there doodling around, playing around, creating little melodies already. And she would come down and listen and encourage me, and she would say, "Little Kathy, you are going to be as great as Liberace." In her mind, no one was greater than Liberace, right? So I was pretty stoked, and that just set me on course. I'm going to be a singer and a pianist. My imagination, my visioning, my decision, I want to do that. Have you ever noticed that everything is created twice? First in the mind, and then in physical reality, right? Everything's created twice, first in the mind and then physical reality. You thought of coffee this morning, right? First in the mind, right? And then you either went to Noble, right? Coffee, or what's the other one? Roco. Or you got out your little coffee making machine and equipment like I do. And you make it just the way you like it. And there it is. It's in physical reality. Everything is created twice. You read in John chapter 1, verse 1 in the scripture, you read, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." The word in ancient Greek is logos. And logos, when you look up the definition, one definition of logos is the expression of thought. The expression of thought. So I like this scripture better. I reworded it this way. We can say, in the beginning was the expression of thought. Thought that was with God. Thought that was God. Thought. Divine idea in the beginning. So we are divine idea. We are quite the creation, wouldn't you say? I mean, what an imagination it took to create this reality. And we are made in that image. So we are co-creators, and we feel best when we're creating. Anybody? I know I do. I feel best when I'm writing songs, These days I write talks. They're 25-minute songs. So you could say that in the beginning we imagine, we create an image in the mind, a thought, and then we bring it into physical form, right? And if your imagination is limited, then your creations will be as well. But if your imagination is unlimited, your creations and your life will be as well. Are you with me? The fact that we're sitting here in this place we're calling Unity Community of Ashland, this was just a thought. This was a thought in my mind a few years ago, right? And now here it is. It's physical reality. It's real. That's just amazing. Think about your own life. Think about how you imagined or thought something first, right? Like, I'm going to move to Ashland, right? I'm going to move to Ashland. I'm going to create a life I love. And here you are, Amazawa. It was just a thought, wasn't it? And now it's real. It's physical reality. Or I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to be a chef. I'm going to grow inner peace, so now I meditate. I'm going to be of service, so now I cook for the unhoused and feed the unhoused, right? Could it be that our greatest life is only limited by how great we can imagine it to be? Yeah. So I recently read an article on the 20 most important inventions, and that happened due to the imagination of humans. Can you name a few that might be on that list? The 20 greatest inventions that humans ever came up with. What was that? Telephone. Yeah, that wasn't on that list, but it should be, right? The wheel, thank you. That was number one. And it was interesting because it wasn't the wheel that was the hard part, it was the axle, and it was the way the wheel fit on the axle. Fire, thank you. What? Cotton gin. That was not on the list either, but it certainly should be. Electricity. What else? The thumb. Well, right. We didn't, I'm not sure we created that, but maybe. Ramtha would say humans created humans. What was over here? Thank you. Refrigeration was on the list. What else? Language. That wasn't on the list? Yes. Well, wheels. Yes. The printing press. Writing. What's that? Thank you. Vaccinations. Penicillin was created. They saw that where the mold grew, the bacteria didn't. So the internet, the compass. What would we be without the compass? Birth control. That was quite a good invention, wouldn't you say? I know we women appreciate that, right? The light bulb. The telescope. Yes. Well, and the compass, yeah, right. And there was another, I forget what it was, but it was something for sailing ships. Yeah. Literature. Yes, okay. Well, we could name more all day, but it's pretty neat to think about how far we've come. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb and many, many, many other things. And he said that to invent, you need a good imagination and a pile of junk. So life is on earth is so much better because of the human imagination. We're grateful for light bulbs and wheels and printing presses, right? To change, to grow, to overcome, to evolve, as Einstein said, to transform our lives, we have to believe it's possible. We have to see it, we have to imagine it, and we have to believe it's possible, right? Paramahansa Yogananda wrote about imagination. He said, he described it as a portal through which you can transcend the imposed limitations of this world. A portal through which you can transcend the imposed limitations of the world. With wisdom and will, whatever you can imagine and continue to imagine can become real. That's the important part. Continue to imagine. Joe Dispenza talks about that, and he goes into detail. So have you noticed when you let yourself imagine greater possibility, you just even talk about something new and fun and adventurous, how you feel, how life-giving it is, how much energy rises up in you? A dear friend of mine recently was just talking about they want to buy a van and they want to fix it up and make it just custom, just the way they want, and they want to go see all the places that they haven't seen in this country. And I was so happy. It made me so happy to hear them like imagining and visioning, because they've been through quite a rough patch. So it was so inspiring to hear that energy of dreaming and that energy of imagining, you know, waking up to our sacred purpose as creators, as co-creators, as being creators, and realizing we can create a life of thriving versus just surviving. There's a saying that what the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls the butterfly. What the caterpillar calls the end of the world, the master calls the butterfly. Dean Houston likes to say that we, humanity, right now are in butterfly time. We're in butterfly time. Now, to be fair, there are some days I'm not feeling energetic and I feel like I'm just a caterpillar, right? Don't make me work to be anything more. I don't want to have to spin a chrysalis. I don't want to have to wrestle in goop. And I don't want to have to turn into a gorgeous, unlimited winged creature, right? On those days, we can thank God there's eternity, right? There's eternity. And just like roses on a rose bush, they all bloom in their own time. They all bloom in their own time, and we've got time. But I do believe that there is an inherent urge in us towards self-realization, and that our curiosity, our imagination, our capacity to be creative is how we actualize these seeds of potential that live in our DNA, in our very DNA. I told a story a while back about a community of acorns, right, that were gathered around, and they were having a discussion, and the one wiser acorn was saying, you know, if y'all would just look over there at that grand oak tree, that is our possibility. We can be that. And, you know, at least half of the acorns said, no way. They could not see anything beyond just acorn being, right? Acorn life. But the wise acorn said, that's our destiny. We can become grand, can become beautiful, we can become awesome, but we have to do some work. We have to be willing and open to learn. We have to be courageous. We have to believe in our possibility, and we have to bow down to the earth. And we have to be willing to traverse some darkness and be willing to be in the unknown, to be in the stillness and the not knowing, what you might call the liminal space. And trust during that darkness. Trust in the life in us, right? Trust in the life in us. So this is our journey. We are God's seed. We are more than any mere acorn. We are God's seed, and every wound that we heal, every lesson that we learn, every triumph carries us, not only us, but our entire world forward. So I invite you to ask yourself, what is the call asking of you now? What is the call within asking you to do? Maybe overcome self-doubt, maybe step out of old habits. It's so important we ask, what are we here to learn? What are we here to overcome? What are we here to offer? What does our authentic face look like? What is possible for me? Is there an unimagined possibility for my life? And it doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, I just visited Jean Houston a while back. I think she's 86. She is imagining possibility. You know, she's going to do that till her last moment and create that possibility. Well, I was just wondering, did anybody, when they first arrived here on the planet, get a map and directions for your entire life? I didn't get one either. And, you know, I think that knowing our sacred purpose comes in bite-sized guidance. It comes in bite-sized guidance. Like we might just get enough guidance for today, to get through today or this week, or we might get guidance for this year, right? So I sometimes wonder if the caterpillar had any memory when it's in its glorious butterfly being and it's flying through sunbeams and landing on flowers. Did it ever remember that goopy stage and sense of, am I even going to survive? Right? Is there any future? Right? Did it ever think, oh God, can I just go back to being a caterpillar? Right? When it's halfway through the mush stage, right? And then it finally transformed. It finally transformed. So I think sometimes our sacred purpose is just to keep living. It's just to keep living. It's to live today. It's to keep our attention in the present moment and do our best today and keep moving towards love, including loving ourselves. Loving ourselves. So we had a wonderful prayer chaplain meeting. I love our prayer chaplains so much. I love that we have prayer chaplains, and we met last Monday, and we spent time imagining and visioning for the greatest good and the greatest possibility for this unity community. And it was so energizing. We spoke the visioning into our circle, and we let the inner child of ourselves come out and be playful. And so we envisioned this space just full of smiling, happy people. We envisioned abundance just pouring in every way in. We even saw the offering bags vibrating, and then all these gold coins like overflowing out of the offering bag. And we saw everyone feeling supported and loved and thriving. We saw people pressing their faces to the window in awe of the light shining in here, just wanting to come and be part of what we're doing. My last church in Tahoe, Unity in Tahoe, every fall we would have a visioning. We would do a visioning as a community. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to bring this to service today and invite us all to do it together here. It's something that Michael Beckwith calls vision casting. And the idea is to allow God to give us direction through the intuition of our higher self. So I'd like us to just take a moment and do this practice. So we just begin taking a nice deep breath in and exhale, and just kind of go into a light meditative space. I'm going to just ask you a series of questions, and it's just a contemplation in your own mind, just a reflection in your own mind. So allow yourself just to contemplate the answers to each question. And the first question is, what is Spirit's highest vision for my life? What is Spirit's highest vision for my life? What is Spirit's highest vision for me now in my life? What is the greatest possibility I can see for myself now in my life? And then the second question, what is my role in this situation, in creating this possibility? What is my role in bringing this into being? What is mine to do? And then the third question, what must I release in order for the highest outcome of this situation to come about? What must I release? What must I let go of to fully step in to all that's possible for my life? What must I release? And then the fourth question, what spiritual quality must I embrace for the highest outcome of this situation to come about? What spiritual quality must I embrace for this highest possibility to come about? It could be even a few qualities. What qualities must I embrace? And then finally, what else, if anything, would Spirit like to share with me about this situation, about this possibility? What else would Spirit like to share with me in this contemplation and reflection? Okay, so now you can slowly now bring yourself back out of this meditative reflection. And so I would like to hear from you from some of you. What spiritual quality came to you? That enthusiasm, radiance, trust, delight, listening, love, courage, and faith. Yeah. Strong intent. Yes. Earth connection. One of the ones I got was fearlessness, vigilance, diligence. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I encourage you to contemplate this on your own. You know, you might want to write down even some of the insight you got, or remember the questions and ask them later and spend more time. Because I feel like we need a lot more visioning, both personally on what we want for our own life, and also what we want as community, and also what we want as family, what we want as country, what we want as world, right? I feel like our society is suffering from a crisis of imagination. And I think that part of that is because we just let everybody imagine for us, right? We've got so much entertainment, you know? Remember when you were kids and you didn't have internet and you didn't have an iPhone, you had to go out and play with friends and make up stuff, right? You had to use your imagination. And I think that's so important and so much healthier, right? It's fulfilling to turn on and turn up our creativity. And I believe the fate of the human race depends on our ability to imagine a different future and a better future. So like I said, I was reading Jean's book, The Wizard of Us. And it's so brilliant how she takes that story that we all know, we all love. I've probably seen it 10 times. And she describes how it is a hero's journey and it's our journey. And that we can all see ourselves as Dorothy, sometimes stuck, you know, in a colorless or repetitive life, and feeling the limits of our life. And, you know, she's with her dear dog, Toto, and when she sings that unforgettable song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow in sacred literature it's always a sign of the realm of the divine. And it represents a golden age where earth and heaven are connected, and there's an easy communication. But, you know, she's dreaming of a greater reality. You know, she's gazing up into the sky. She's dreaming of a world of color. Remember, there's no color at first. And she's dreaming of peace, and she's dreaming of herself empowered to stand up against all the wicked witches, right, that want to steal her dog and kill it. So, you know, Jean says we're the hero of our hero's journey, and that we all have those moments in life where we're forced to grow, when that tornado comes and it picks up our house, or it burns down our house, or it burns down our town, right? Or it floods a town. And we have to let go of our outmoded way of living. We have to let go and trust in the new. And the yellow brick road is our inner guidance. It's our inner spiritual guidance. And it's where we meet spiritual friends, sacred friends, magical friends, right? So that yellow brick road is like that prompting inside the acorn. It's moving us towards greater expression. There will be flying monkeys, right? There will be wicked witches in our life. We will have moments we feel challenged, whether it's our physical health, our mental health, our situation. You know, we'll face doubt at times if we can even get through, right? The faith, like you said, the faith is so critical. Joseph Campbell describes that part of our journey when we're facing doubt as being in the belly of the whale, another biblical reference. And that those moments when we're in the unknown, we have to let go of old habits and old conditioning to be rewoven into a stronger and brighter form. So that's another reflection. I invite you to consider, what is the belly of the whale in your life? What's the belly of the whale? It might be a strong need to get away from it all. I feel that sometimes. I'm naturally such a recluse. It might be experiencing depression. That might be it. It might be a relationship that didn't work out, the belly of the whale. But it's where we're like the caterpillar, willing to exist as mush for a while, right? I felt that way when my mom died. You know, who I had been up to that moment, that person was gone. That was the caterpillar me. And then I was in this mush, and it was intense. It was the belly of the whale. I didn't know if I was going to make it through. I just knew to be present with it, to trust it, to open to it, and let it transform me, let it change me. Jean says we must confront the darkness and trust in our own enormous untapped potential. We are so much more than we thought we were. We are fully capable of co-creating a better life, a better society, and a better world. So, in closing, on this Your Hero's journey, I encourage you to be curious and explore your innate God-given possibilities even more, and trust in that God seed, even when, and especially when, you're in the goop. You're feeling like an acorn buried in the dark, to trust in that God seed. So I'd love to close with a handful of affirmations. Would you affirm, I am free, I am unlimited. I am an unlimited creator of my life. I am manifesting my highest good. I support all beings in their highest good. I am infinite possibility. And all is well. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.